I was a junior at a prestigious university. It was my dream to study there, and I was proud to be a top student. I had made some friends, joined some clubs, and mastered my classes. Everything was going well. Until the night of the ritual. It was a secret society, composed of the elite and the powerful. They said it was a way to gain knowledge and influence. They said it was harmless. They lied. The ritual started at midnight in the woods behind the campus. There were 12 of us, all wearing black robes and masks. The leader was in the center of a circle, holding a book and a dagger. He explained the purpose. We had to summon an ancient entity and ask for its favor. He said it would last for a few minutes. He lied. The ritual involved chanting, cutting, and bleeding. We had to offer our blood to the entity and let it enter our minds. We had to surrender our wills to it and let it speak through us. He said it would be painless. He lied. The ritual was excruciating, terrifying, and horrifying. We felt our blood drain from our veins and our minds shatter from its presence. We heard its voice in our heads, telling us things we didn't want to know. We saw its form in our eyes, showing us things we didn't want to see. It was not an entity. It was a demon. It did not grant us favor. It enslaved us. It said, "Hello, children. I've been waiting for you." It laughed and said, "Let's have some fun." I was a freshman at Fordham University, living in a dorm that used to be an old hospital. I had heard some rumors about the place being haunted, but I didn't believe them. I thought they were just stories to scare the new students. One night, I was studying in my room, alone. My roommate had gone out with some friends, and I had the place to myself. I was reading a textbook when I heard a knock on the door. I got up and opened it, expecting to see my roommate or someone else from my floor. But there was no one there. I looked down the hallway, but it was empty and dark. I shrugged and closed the door, thinking it was a prank. I went back to my desk and resumed my reading. A few minutes later, I heard another knock on the door. This time, it was louder and more persistent. I got up again and opened the door, annoyed. But again, there was no one there. I felt a chill in the air and a sense of unease. I looked around, but I saw nothing out of the ordinary. I closed the door and locked it, feeling a bit nervous. I decided to call my roommate and see where he was. I picked up my phone and dialed his number. It rang once, twice, 3 times. Then it went to voicemail. "Hey, this is Jake. Leave a message and I'll get back to you." I waited for the beep and then said, "Hey Jake, it's me. Where are you? Someone's been knocking on our door and there's no one there. It's freaking me out. Call me back when you can." I hung up and put the phone down. I hoped he would call me back soon and tell me he was on his way. I tried to calm myself down and focus on my studying. I told myself it was just a coincidence or a joke. Maybe someone had rigged the door with a device that made it knock by itself. Maybe someone was hiding in the shadows and watching me. Maybe someone was trying to scare me. I shook my head and opened my textbook again. I tried to ignore the knocking sound that continued to haunt me. But then, something else happened. Something that made me scream. The door opened by itself. Slowly, silently, it swung open, revealing the dark hallway beyond. And then, I saw him. A man standing in the doorway, staring at me with cold eyes. He was pale and thin, with long black hair that covered most of his face. He wore a white coat that was stained with blood and dirt. He had no shoes on his feet, which were also bloody. He looked like he had been dead for a long time. He looked like he had come from the morgue. He looked at me and smiled. A twisted smile that showed his rotten teeth. He opened his mouth and said, "Hello, I am Zozo." I was a freshman at a prestigious university. It was my dream to study there, and I was excited to start my new life. I had made some friends, joined some clubs, and aced my classes. Everything was going well. Until the night of the initiation. It was a tradition for the freshmen to undergo a series of challenges organized by the seniors. They said it was a way to bond, to test our courage, and to have some fun. They said it was harmless. They lied. The initiation started at midnight in the main hall. There were about 100 of us, all wearing black robes and masks. The seniors were on stage, wearing red robes and hoods. They looked like cultists. They welcomed us and explained the rules. We had to complete 3 tasks, each one more difficult and dangerous than the last. If we failed or quit, we would be humiliated and ostracized. If we succeeded, we would be accepted and respected. The first task was to drink a cup of blood. They said it was animal blood, but I wasn't sure. It smelled foul and tasted worse. I gagged and spat it out, but I forced myself to finish it. I felt sick and dizzy, but I didn't want to give up. The second task was to walk through a maze of mirrors. They said it was an optical illusion, but I wasn't sure. It looked like a nightmare. The mirrors distorted my reflection, making me look twisted and grotesque. I heard voices in my head, mocking me and taunting me. I felt lost and scared, but I didn't want to give up. The third task was to enter a dark room. They said it was empty, but I wasn't sure. It felt like something was in there with me, something evil and hungry. I heard growls and hisses, felt claws and teeth. I screamed and ran, but I couldn't find the exit. I gave up. I woke up in the hospital, covered in bruises and bites. The doctors said I had a severe allergic reaction to the blood, a panic attack in the maze, and a hallucination in the room. They said it was all in my head. They lied. I saw them in the corner of my eye, watching me with sinister smiles. They were the seniors. They were not human. They were monsters, and they had marked me as their prey.